Welcome back to the news at 10. There's growing concern that a food crisis could be looming in Nigeria in light of unending attacks by militia groups suspected to be herdsmen, particularly in the north-central states of Adamawa and Benue. The attacks have resulted in farmers becoming reluctant to return to their farms for fear of losing their lives. In our big story tonight, our correspondent, Oraoluwa Shonibare, looks at the situation threatening food security in the nation.
The Mile 12 food market in Lagos State, southwest Nigeria, filled with a vast variety of farm produce: onions, tomatoes, peas, and peppers. Almost on a daily basis, hundreds of baskets of this produce are transported into Lagos and other parts of the country, usually from the north. But in recent times, the supply is being threatened. This is Adamawa State, where a lot of the farm produce are cultivated. But the once active occupation of farmers in Demsa and Numan local government areas is facing extinction, due in no small part to continuous attacks by suspected herdsmen. These farmers narrate how they escaped their whiskers during a recent attack.
We suspect they are Fulanese who came on bikes while we were in the market. Before we knew, they swooped on us and started shooting sporadically in all directions.
What I know is that 13 persons were killed and many people are missing.
For this resident, the confidence of the bandits in announcing their attacks is simply mind-boggling.
They will tell you that they are coming, even though we are saying it's a rumor, but it materializes. Whenever they tell you that they are going to come, they will come. And people have stopped going to farm.
This lawmaker represents Numan local government. She expresses a frustration and fear over what the repeated attacks will eventually do to her people.
Our people are farmers and grazers. Our people cannot go to farm. What is, farming is what we depend on, and we are in the season now, and they cannot go to farm. Then what will come next?
Given assurances of safety of the farmers, the State Commissioner for Information says the government is doing all it can with the security agencies to restore order.
These are clashes that could result in increased hunger. The rainy season itself is a period when there is food scarcity, and when you attack people, on their farms, or you deny people going to their farms, you are compounding the food security situation in the state, and we're very, very much concerned.
Another state that has stories to tell about this is Benue. Popularly regarded as the food basket of the nation, Benue is the largest yam-producing state in Nigeria. But this activity has diminished drastically. The Special Assistant on Nutrition and Food Security to the Benue State Governor blames this on the incessant attacks, which has sent hundreds of farmers packing.
One of the things people don't understand is, yam seeds are very difficult to come by. And so that these farmers have stored the yam seeds that have been harvested, and now it's being fed to the cattle. And so it increases the degree of difficulty of getting yam seeds in the next planting season.
It will take a lot to rebuild the lost confidence of the farmers to return to their land. But the hope of many is that this is achieved sooner than later, before the effects of food scarcity spreads and becomes unbearable. For the big story, Oraoluwa Shonibare, Channels Television News.
Investors in Ogun State are satisfied, they say, with the cost and ease of doing business in the state, particularly with the provision of an enabling environment by the state government to maximize profit. The investors made the comment during the 7th Investors Breakfast meeting with Governor Ibukule Amosun in Abeokuta, the state capital. Governor Bikula Amosu, however, promised the investors the state government will continue to support them to grow their businesses.
Thank you.
Ogun State is believed to be the industrial capital of Nigeria. This is largely due to the fact that it houses many industries and operational headquarters of many manufacturing companies in the country. Some of the investors and interest groups operating in the state are here for a breakfast meeting with the state governor Bikula Amosu at the government house in Abeokuta. It's an interactive session where investors appreciate the thoughtfulness of the state government and also make demands. This time they're asking for a more inclusive economic policy that will attract more investors and make their businesses thrive.
The Excellency's strategy is what I call the concept of build it and they will come. And what you seem to have done is committed yourself to creating an enabling environment and satisfying the purpose for which governments are set up, that is to improve the quality of life of the people.
The state government is, however, mindful of their contributions to the state economy, and Governor Amosu pledges to consider their requests by doing more to make the business environment more conducive.
We will encourage you to continue to interface with us. We are for you. Whatever challenges that you think you have, that is where we are. It's the responsibility of government to continue to go around to resolve whatever issues that those that are here with us, whatever issues they encounter, it's our responsibility to make sure that we resolve it.
The State Commissioner for Commerce and Industry speaks more on the opportunities in Ogun State and the efforts of the state government under the leadership of Governor Amosu to improve ease of doing business.
Today, I'm happy to tell you that 100% of the people here today are partners, they are investors that have invested in excess of $1 billion. Now, Ogun State is the industrial hub of Nigeria. 75% of FDI people in the number of investors today are targets. We are number one in the country, but our target is to become number one in Africa.
Your Excellency, sir.
Most of the investors here agree that Ogun State is attractive to investors, and they say an opportunity like this, which is in its 7th series, allows them to bear their minds concerning issues affecting their businesses and the plans of the government to make them grow.
Going to switch gears now to join Anne Wawodo in business news.
You first. First Bank.
Thank you, Amarachi, and welcome to Business News. The Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Aisha Abubakar, has announced plans by the government to increase foreign direct investment inflow into the country through partnerships with multilateral and development finance institutions. At the ongoing AfrExim Forum in Abuja, the minister said the recent policies on ease of doing business is yielding positive results, and it will soon be reflected in its desire to achieve $25 billion investment by 2020.
Globally, investment in the economies of any nation is described as a major contribution to the growth of its economy. Investments pave way for job creation and poverty reduction. At this meeting, attended by government officials, captains of industries and representatives of development finance institutions, discussions on how to attract more investment into Nigeria took the center stage.
That we have the Industrial Advisory Council also, which is a platform for public-private partnership where solutions are being preferred by private sector and the public sector, and agreements are reached on how we can cooperate to make investing or doing business in Nigeria much easier. So we're resolving things like road, infrastructure, power, and so on.
To put Nigeria on a sustainable
one after the other, government officials give reasons why Nigeria remains an investment destination. One of the reasons is its vast market, population, mineral resources, and arable land.
The quest for diversification is even becoming more urgent, given the level of youth unemployment and the shrinking resources to accommodate the pressure being mounted. It required the collective effort of all of us to mobilize resources to fully bring to bear the involvement of those working at the micro, at the small and medium enterprise levels.
The departure of the Chief Executive Officer of EcoBank Nigeria, Mr. Charles Akia, next month will be an orderly transition, and that's according to the Group CEO of EcoBank Transnational Incorporated, Mr. Ade Ayeyemi.
EcoBank is present in 40 countries, including Nigeria, and 33 countries in Africa, 3 rep offices in Africa, a bank in France, a rep office in London, in Dubai, and in China. Therefore, every transition is something that we take seriously. But the issue here is that our leader in Nigeria has another opportunity that has intimated us he wants to pursue. Now, the transition will be smooth. It's given us sufficient notice. We're going to make another appointment within a week, and there will be sufficient time for the transition to get concluded. What is important is that the transition is orderly. There is no forced exit. The transition is really orderly. And having 16,000 people across 43 nationalities across the group, and the way we plan our human capital enable us to be able to have a proper transition arrangement in terms of
Nigeria's stock market has recorded its third straight decline this week as sell pressure continues to push month and year-to-date losses closer to 3% each. BC Adebayo tells us more.
Glad you could join us on the stock market reports. The haircuts continued at the Nigerian Stock Exchange as profit taking extended into a third consecutive session on Thursday, causing a 0.07% drop in the main index. The equities capitalization also lost about 10 billion naira due to sell-offs in the insurance, banking and oil and gas sectors. Traders still attribute the losses to political risk concerns, particularly by foreign investors who hold the market. Market breadth remains negative as 29 decliners outweighed 15 gainers. Total turnover of shares traded surged again from the previous session to over 350 million, driven by the shares of NACO, Access Bank and Zenith Bank. And that's it on the stock market reports. I am BC Adebayo.
Thanks a lot, BC. Well, it's a rebound for major global stock markets today, especially the Nasdaq index, which hit an all-time high. Let's see the numbers for today. And that's business news for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu. It's back to you, Amarachi.
You First. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Anne. In recent times, many have cast a suspicious eye on the judiciary in Nigeria, particularly lawyers. The recent trial of some senior lawyers and judges is pointed to this. But it's not far so for late Gani Adetola Kazeem, who was celebrated by judges, lawyers, clients and members of the public in a day of tributes in Lagos today. Our correspondent Mary Alale Yusuf reports.
Believe that he served meritoriously while he was with us.
Family, friends and legal luminaries agreed that owing to his influence and clout, it would not be enough to just bury late Gani Adetola Kazeem. That is how this day of tribute to show the late senior advocate's part in the development of Nigerian labor jurisprudence came about. Guests at the event do not disappoint.
Baba got resounding ovations for seminars and workshops for medical and dental practitioners, which, owing to popular demand, were staged across the nation.
The late SAN would go to court, argue a case, and present all the facts and all the laws. That's something I find pretty good and something that is seriously missing amongst other counsel today.
Perhaps the clients who will miss him the most are the labor unions.
He believes that workers' rights and trade union rights are also human rights. He made me to believe that I must not disobey court order. And he said, yes, they may be professional disobeyers of court order, but that at appropriate time, the law will catch up with them.
His children and close associates share fond memories of the late senior advocate.
He never kept grudges with anyone. He would let go just for the sake of peace.
He was a member of drafting committee of the National Industrial Court Act, National Industrial Court Rules 2017, the Third Association Act 2010. A lot of people and institutions owed him his professional fees. I know a number of you are here. Please, if you have not paid, pay up.
It was humility personified. It was somebody who rose from grass to grace. Somebody who empowered himself. Somebody who saw poverty, decided to choose prosperity, excellence, professionalism, godliness, and the good of man.
Chief Adetola Kasim was the lead counsel in the case for Muslims in public secondary schools to wear the hijab, and owing to his efforts, a young lawyer has been called to bar in hers. Mary Alale Yusuf, Channels Television News.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Serena Williams becomes the first mother in 38 years to reach the Wimbledon final after the 23-time Grand Slam winner beats Germany's Julia Georges in the last four. More coming up in sports news. Stay with us.